Hi everyone, welcome back to Art of Coding. This is the another video of our Symfony 5 playlist. In today's video, we will try to finish almost every required thing about the Symfony services in Symfony 5. First of all, let me explain a little bit about Symfony services. The moment we start our Symfony application, it's full of useful objects. Almost everything that our app does is actually done by one of these objects. Moreover, every time we install a new bundle, we get access to more objects. Also, we can create custom objects to organize our own code. These useful objects are called the services. Each service lives inside a very special object called service container. The container allows us to control the way to build the objects. It's very fast and promotes a strong architecture. Some of the inbuilt objects are like loggerInterface. You can see here we have used the loggerInterface to log this message. The request tag interface is another example of inbuilt object. We can get the list of objects using this command. Let's copy and paste this command inside the terminal. So here you can see a list of inbuilt objects inside a Symfony application. We can use these objects by type hinting, and these objects will be ready to use. For example, you can see the loggerInterface path here, and we called it using the type hinting way in the given example of Symfony 5 documentation. Here you can see that we have pasted the same path, and by type hinting we called this loggerInterface. So let's try this example in our code. So I am inside my client controller. In this list function, I will use the loggerInterface. First, I will copy this line and I will paste it here. Next, I will use this here, and so our loggerInterface is called. We'll call this. Now, if we go to our project, first we need to start the server. So our project is running on this URL. So our project is running here. Next I will go to my client list. So I am on my clients list, and if I go to the profiler and click here, then inside the logs, here you can see that our message is printed. So you can see that how easily we have used this loggerInterface object. So you can also organize your own code in a service. There are many advantages of using the services. For example, if we need to show a random message to a user as given in this example, if we added this code in the controller, we will never able to reuse this code. Every time we need to show the same message, we need to write this message again. To reuse this same code, we need to create a new class or new service. So we will follow this example. First we will create a new service named messagegenerator.php inside the service folder. Also you need to make sure that the setting inside the services.yaml file inside config folder should be auto-wire true to configure true, and here the settings will be same. If the auto-wire is true, then only we can inject the dependencies in the services. So here in the source, first we need to create a folder named service. Our service folder is created, and inside this we will create our service file. So our service file is also created. Now we will copy and paste the code given in the example. So now we will call this happy message function inside our controller. The way to call this service is we will add use. So in the top of our controller, we will add use path to our service. We will now copy this object, and here we will paste it, and dollar message generator. So now our service is called inside our controller. We will just paste this, and next we will call our function. The function name is this, and that's it. And we will print this Now if I will refresh my client list, then this message will be printed. So you can see that our message is printed, and every time in any function we need this message, we can just call this service. For example, if I copy this or cut this and paste in the view, then here the same message will be printed. Refresh. Now if I click on the test client, then we need to add this as well. Now if we will again refresh, then the message will be printed. So you can see that the message is printed. Here we only given the example to show the message, but the service can be used for many more tasks. For example, by using the services, we can divide our function to small parts, and that will make our code clean, fast and easy to understand. Next is we can easily inject one service inside another service. Also we can get almost all the objects inside a service. For example, our request object, container object. So if we call a service function from the container, then we do not need to pass all the parameters with it. So these are the advantages of using services. Next I will show you that how we can inject one service inside another service. For example, we have this message generator service. Next I will create one more service and inject that service inside our message generator service. For that I will create a new service named message type. This is an example. You can create the services according to your requirement. So now I have created a new file named messagetype.php. This is our new service. I will copy this code, paste it here and add some changes. Suppose inside this service I have created a function named getMessage based on type, and here I will return the message based on the type. Now I will try to inject this message type service inside my message generator service. For that I need to add message type. I have called the service here. Here we need to call this service inside the construct method. As you can see here, I will copy this and paste it here. I just need to change it to my service. So this is the way to inject one service inside another service. Next, here I will remove everything. Then is equal to, and inside message type service our function is get message based on type, and here we also need to pass the type, and from the controller we also need to pass the type to this function. Suppose we passed type 0, then type 0 will be reached here, and from that it will go to my message type service with the type 0, and here the type is 0, and it will return this message because any if else will not match with type 0, so our message will be message type not found. So here we need to add the return message. Now we have already printed this message. Now if I will refresh, here you can see that the message is message type not found. For example, I passed 1 here, and then I will refresh it again. Now you can see that the message type is 1. In the same way, if I will pass 3 here, the message type 3. And if I will not pass anything, then it will give error because the type parameter is mandatory. Let's refresh. So you can see that you are getting an error for too few arguments. To resolve this, we can give a default value to type variable. Suppose we give 0 default. Now if I will not pass anything, then this will not give any error, and here the 0 will be passed for the type. And you can see that message type not found. So we can handle multiple services in the same way. Suppose we have one more service with name message type 1, then we will call that service in the same way as well. For example, I will copy it and make it message type 1. Here I will copy and again define one more type hinted for my another service, message type 1, message type 1, and here message type 1, message type 1. So we can use another service in the same way like this. This is just an example. You can create as many services and inject them into any other services as well. So in the same way, we can handle multiple service files inside the controllers as well. For example, if I also need to call a service named user service, then I will first create that service inside my services folder, and to call that service in the controller I will use the same way. Here I will pass user service. I will call that service in the same way here. So we can call that service in the same way inside the controllers as well. So for now we did not have any service named user service, so I will remove this. I was just showing the way to handle multiple services inside the controller or a service file. Next is, suppose we need to pass a custom variable, or we want to manually pass the argument to a service. Then we need to register the service inside the services.yaml file, and for that particular argument we need to pass that value from the services file. For example, if string $test, suppose I want to pass a custom test variable or argument to a service, then we have defined this here. Then copy this test. Here I will also add test. So in our case, the test is not an object or a type hinted object. We defined a custom argument here. For that we need to go to our services.yaml file inside the config folder. Here we need to register our service. So our service name is message generator, and our argument, custom argument, is test and test. So we need to pass the custom argument value from this services.yaml file. Now if I will print this, then you will see that it will show the same email ID which I have added here. I will refresh it and our email is printed. So you can see that we can also pass the custom arguments inside a service from our services.yaml file. So this was all about the services inside Symfony 5. We can do many more things inside the services, but these were the most common and mostly used things while creating an application. I will try to cover the remaining things of Symfony 5 services in another video. So I hope you will like the video, and if the video is helpful then please like the video and subscribe to my channel and share the video as well. Also press the bell icon to get the notifications of my upcoming videos. Thank you.